everyone, and welcome to this week's 10 About Town podcast. I'm Brittany Bailey. It certainly is a busy week of events here in East Tennessee, and we're going to start off talking about Juneteenth and some events, including a parade, a community celebration. And here to talk more about that is Reverend Renee Kessler with the Beck Cultural Exchange Center and Deborah Porter, who is with the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemorative Commission. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here.
So great to be here.
And we have a lot to talk about, but let's get started with, for people who just aren't familiar with Juneteenth and why we need to celebrate and mark this occasion. Let's talk about that.
Sure. So Juneteenth, officially we commemorate it as June 19th. So that's a combination of the word Juneteenth, June 19. It goes back to 1865 in Galveston, Texas, where then the Civil War troops are going to come into Galveston, Texas, and tell the people that they have been emancipated, those who have been formerly enslaved. And the challenge here is that 2.5 years prior to that, the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed. And so in theory, these people were supposed to have been emancipated 2.5 years before. So in our history, we commemorate that as the oldest, and this is important, known date of emancipation in this country. So we recognize and realize we're still uncovering and discovering much of the history of our country. But nevertheless, it was in Galveston, Texas that happened. Now, why it's so important is because a lot of people, when they moved away, while they may or may not have been Texans or in Texas, moved to other areas, they took the traditions with them. What that means is that sometimes they may have been in another state or another area in the country, and they were commemorating Juneteenth. Because, well, why would you do that? That was for Texas folks. But many generations before remembered the traditions. Likewise, in the state of Tennessee, we commemorate the 8th of August as Emancipation Day, right? Because that's our day, August 8th, 1863. So then people often ask me, well, Renee, why do we commemorate, Juneteenth, the 8th of August, and all these different dates? And again, same scenario. When many people left the state of Tennessee after the 8th of August, they began to migrate to other states. And again, they took the traditions with them, and generations continue to use those dates in history as the date of emancipation. So the answer to the question would be this. Anytime we can commemorate emancipation or the day of freedom, whatever date that might be, it's a good day. So it's an opportunity for us to remember those who came before us, to remember history and the struggles, and to learn from history. In fact, I like the way James Baldwin says it. He says, if we're not afraid to look back, then nothing we're facing can frighten us. So we look back so we can look forward to a brighter future. And that's what we do at the Beck Cultural Exchange Center, is preserve the history of African Americans and the history of great, extraordinary people, and particularly in East Tennessee and indeed throughout the country. So it's always an honor for us to do this history, to preserve history, but also to partner with our organizations in the community like the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Commission, who do extraordinary work every single year, probably one of the largest organizations. And I don't want to steal Miss Deborah Porter's thunder, except to say that we love partnering with them for the work that they do, because Beck is committed to community and to community partnerships.
Well, we talked a little bit about that. Again, Renee Kessler said that she doesn't want to steal your thunder. So, Ms. Porter, we must give you the chance now to talk a little bit about your commission and why you want to be involved.
Well, I tell you, she's still a part of the commission,
Yeah.
Let's make that clear,
Yes.
and had been the chair of the commission for many years. So I stand on her shoulders and plenty of others as well.
Yeah.
But come this weekend, June 19th, an exciting time, of course. But the Martin Luther King, let me say this, the Martin Luther King Commemorative Commission has been a 501c3 since 1983. So when we celebrate now for half of the year. We start in January and we go all the way up to June 19th.
Yeah.
So we're busy. Used to, we tried to cram everything into 1 week. We would have 10, 11, 12 programs in 1 week starting before the King holiday. So we decided, that's too much. We're getting too old to do these.
Season. There is nothing old about this woman.
We're getting too old to do 12 events, 11,
That's
12
a lot.
events
Yeah.
in 1 week. So we decided we'd pull a few of them out. June 19th wasn't one of them, though. We ended up doing, during COVID, right after, I guess, the 2021, we did a big thing down at the World's Fair site. And so everyone was saying, and it was on around June 19th, and everyone was saying, well, where's the parade? Where's the parade?
Yeah.
And we said, well, we didn't do a parade. You know, we were just we're celebrating June 19th. And then everyone was saying, are we still going to have a parade in January? Well, we don't know that just yet because we didn't know how things were. But we had our last parade and Memorial March in 2022. So fast forward, we decided that we'd take the parade to June 19th, the Memorial March to June 19th. And that's what we did. Starting at 10 o'clock, step off is at 10 o'clock at Chilhowee Park. Last year we had over 72 entries into the parade, so it lasted much longer than we thought it was going to last. This year, so far we have about 60-ish or so. So it doesn't matter however many we have, we're going to march down the street.
Yeah.
You know? And so it starts at step off at 10 o'clock at Chilhowee Park. We'll come all the way down Martin Luther King Boulevard and then end up at Walter Hardy Park, Dr. Walter Hardy Park. Mm-hmm. And that's where the festival will be. Last year we had over, I guess, 1,500 people there, you know, in and out of the park. We food trucks, programs, activities for the kids, music, dance. We just really, and the weather, you know, it was very rainy at the very beginning, if you remember.
I do remember
yes.
that.
And so we were just there thinking, oh, Jesus, help us. And I saw a little peak about 10 o'clock before the parade. I saw a little peak of sunshine. I said, just bring it on. Bring on the sunshine. And here the parade started without the rain, and we're coming down the street, you know, everybody standing on the side. And that's one of the things that January didn't allow for a lot of people to be out. Some, they didn't mind the weather, the cold and everything. I've marched in the freezing cold. I couldn't do that anymore, you know. But there were plenty of people on the sides, you know, cheering everybody on, cheering the people coming in the parade, the marchers, the bands, and we had one band I think came out of Illinois last year.
Wow!
And so this year we'll have a battle of the bands, I think we'll have about 3 or 4, but it'll be a battle of the bands this year, and they'll win prizes, you know, for whoever wins first, second, third. Mabry Duff is the chair of the parade and Memorial March, so he's excited to have the Battle of the Bands. He's been wanting to do that for a long time. I don't know, he must have played in a band or something, but he's really he's really excited about that. So we're looking forward to that. But we have community folk, the sororities, the fraternities, the schools. East Tennessee, East Tennessee Freedom School Day March, Pellissippi churches, everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just come and they want to be a part to celebrate as well.
A full day of celebration, starting from the parade into the park events. And, I can't help but think, given what's happening right now in our community, in the country, that celebrations and acknowledgments like this are more important than ever right now. Do you all feel that way?
Definitely. In fact, we will kick off Juneteenth. Ms. Porter was talking about the Juneteenth on the 19th. Beck will actually kick off the Juneteenth on the 18th. So the first event is June 18th. It's downtown in Knoxville, and it's part of the summer series of music. So we're going to have Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, a band that will be doing Janet Jackson. It's going to be lots of fun. So all you have to do is just bring out your chairs. It's at 7 o'clock on Thursday, June 18th in downtown Knoxville. And like this festival and like the concert downtown on Market Square, it really is an opportunity to bring community together, right? Because everyone is welcome. None of this is a charge. All of this is open to the public, and it's an opportunity to bring our community together. I really believe Knoxville can be a model for what it looks like to be a beloved community, right? Where everybody comes together. And really, this history is so important. So it's not just about commemoration, though we're going to do that. In fact, Beck will open a new exhibit, which we always do. Every year we have a new exhibit that opens. Usually we launch it on Juneteenth. So this year, on Friday, June 19th, that new exhibit will open. So you can come see that exhibit. You can go to the festival. You can go to the park. But the exhibit will remain open. So if you get a chance to stop by on Friday, that's great. If not, it'll be there throughout the year. But the exhibit is specifically about those individuals in enslaved at the Mabry Hazen House in Knoxville. So we're really highlighting some of the enslaved persons that were there. So we tell the story of East Tennessee. That's the commemoration, right? That's the historical piece. But the celebration is what they did. So after after the General Order Number 3 was read in Galveston, Texas, and the families found out that they were free or emancipated, here's what they did. The first thing they did is they began to celebrate. And that's what we're doing when we do all these things. We're celebrating, right? We're celebrating what freedom really looked like then and what it looks like now and what it can look like in the future. And we're doing that together. The other thing that they did is they went out and they looked for family, right? Because many families and friends have been separated and all of the things. So they look for that. So watch this. When you come out to the celebration at the downtown Knoxville on the Market Square, when you come out to the parade and the march and the festival, when you come to the back, you're really coming together looking for family and looking for friends. And together we can celebrate and leave a legacy of what a beloved community looks like, which is what they were looking for, a beloved community. We're also very excited as part of the historical narrative, as Ms. Porter mentioned earlier, that the parade has its historical significance. So leading off the parade, we will have Union soldiers. So there will be some reenactors who will be reenacting the colored troops. So in the United States, the USCT, or the United States Colored Troops, were the ones who were coming out to those. In fact, in Galveston, Texas, it was colored troops with guns. Can you imagine? They were the ones who showed up to emancipate or free their own enslaved relatives and friends. Likewise, here in Knoxville, the group that was mustered here is the 1st United States Colored Heavy Artillery. So we have reenactors who will be wearing exactly what they would have worn, those Union soldier uniforms. And they'll be leading off, right, the Juneteenth parade, the Parade of Freedom, the March of Freedom, along with the parade of the Dr. Martin Luther King. And I just think that's a beautiful testament to how we work together and how we share history, how we commemorate, and at the same time, how we celebrate.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to, now this is the first time the reenactment of the soldiers will be leading the march and parade. So that's the first. But we're looking forward to that. So I think people will be very excited to see that. You know, they may question, well, why are the soldiers leading? But that's the part of history. You know, that is the part of history that people need to know. You know, that this is why. That these soldiers are the ones that, as Renee said, went into Galveston to tell the enslaved people that they're free. And so that's what we think is important and why they'll be leading the parade this time.
And it makes sense for the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Commission because, as Ms. Deborah Porter said, it is one of my favorite organizations in the city and served for many years on the committee and as a servant on the committee, understanding what Dr. King stood for, his legacy. And one of the things I know about Dr. King after having studied him and researched him is that he never would want a holiday about him. He wanted a holiday about the mission and the vision that he had for this world. And part of that is what the Dr. Martin Luther King Commemorative Commission is doing with this parade and with this history, is we're saying all of this history is important, and we're saying that it's bigger than individuals. It's about a whole history that people who were fighting for this thing called freedom in every area of life. And so I think it's fitting that we would then do that together. Yeah.
Well, ladies, I thank you so much for talking all about this and, big celebrations coming up this weekend. So Reverend Cussler, Ms. Porter, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Now, I'm going to be praying for good weather. So me and Guy are working that out. And but even if it's not, we're going to have a good time. So it doesn't matter.
As long as it's not thundering and lightning, we're going to march.
We're going to march. That's it.
Well, thank you again so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you
so much.
Well, also, this Sunday is the first day of summer officially, and there's going to be a celebration at the Tennessee Theater, not inside, but actually outside the theater. We've been celebrating summer for weeks now, but it officially arrives June 21st. And to celebrate, the Arts and Culture Alliance will host a free concert event called Make Music Knoxville. This free outdoor music celebration is part of a worldwide event each year. Now, typically, concerts happen outdoors in parks or on patios and in public squares. Locally, it will happen under the marquee at the entryway for the Tennessee Theater. There is always something exciting happening at Zoo Knoxville, but starting this Friday, there will be 3 full weeks of some great music. And here to talk more about that is Drew Rowan, the COO from Zoo Knoxville. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. It's a beautiful day at the zoo today.
Yeah, well, is every day not a great day at the zoo, even if it's not beautiful?
It's pretty amazing. It's been really great the last couple of days with the low humidity and the great temperature. So we've seen a lot of people coming out, and we have a lot of exciting things planned for this summer.
Well, let's talk about some of them. First, let's talk about the space for this concert series that we're going to talk about. It's something you guys have sort of been developing and finding new uses for now.
Sure. It's a Boyd Foundation at the Clayton Timber Loop. So it's a new elevated boardwalk area. It's about 1/3 of a mile long, and it literally takes our guests off the beaten path and immerses them in the environments and the amazing natural beauty that you can find in East Tennessee. Most people that have been regulars at the zoo passed by this area many, many times in the past, but it was so dense and so overgrown with invasive species that you never really knew it was there. We knew it was an asset for the zoo. We knew that it was incredibly hard to build anything in that area, but we knew we had something special. So we took a couple years of planning and a couple years of construction to construct this elevated boardwalk that takes you through an amazing old growth forest area that really is representative of East Tennessee ecology. So we've worked really hard, not only to build this boardwalk and be able to take people down there and enjoy kind of a natural respite area with their families, but it's also a proof point for us in our preservation and conservation efforts. We've eradicated the invasives, and we're slowly working on replanting natives, hopefully to attract native wildlife back to the area. A fun point for you, I was just down there about a month ago, and we had a family of nesting barred owls in one of the trees. So we're already seeing some of the native species return to this area. The boardwalk is about 1/3 of a mile long. It's elevated anywhere from 5 to 25 feet above the ground, and you have incredible views and a walkway through old growth forest. So it is an amazing way for people to come and experience the zoo in a new way, and we're really trying to utilize the asset for a lot of different events coming up this summer.
Right, because you've been using it for Smoky Night Lights, right?
We have been. So Smoky Night Lights was an immersive light show, music space that really celebrated the culture and the music of East Tennessee. That happened during the evenings. We opened the boardwalk to daytime guests over Memorial Day. So now any zoo visitor on any day can go and experience the boardwalk, and we're activating it with all kinds of different animal experiences, so you never know what kind of animals you might run into when you're down there. And then we also have some planned events like the things we're going to talk about this morning.
Yeah, speaking of this concert series, let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we're always trying to develop new offerings for guests at the zoo, and this is a way for us to attract maybe new visitors or visitors that maybe want to do something a little different. So we're launching a summer concert series. The next 3 Fridays, we'll have 3 different bands that will play down on the boardwalk. We're encouraging people to come, bring your blanket, bring your fold-out chair. It's a very park-like setting, and the boardwalk really serves as a theater in the round setting. So we have some dynamic groups coming, and we're really excited to welcome our community into this new experience.
Well, let's talk about some of the bands that are playing.
Sure. So we have a variety of bands. Our first week is going to be Tennessee Wind Symphony. So that's 40 artists who will be there playing together. Very instrumental, obviously, a lot of string instruments. So that should be a really cool vibe. And then the next weekend, we have Pulp Friction, which is a 70s through 2000s cover band, high energy, amazing vocalist, female lead singer. And then the next week, we're going to be hosting the Alex Leach Band and really leaning into that bluegrass style. So we have a variety of different options for folks depending on what kind of music that you like.
So going back to the first one, 40 people are going to be playing in the Wind Symphony?
Yeah.
Are you going to have to put them down in the ground and people are up on the boardwalk to watch them?
It should be pretty amazing. So if you haven't seen the Timberloop Boardwalk yet, as I said, it's about 1/3 of a mile long, but there's also 3 very large platforms that are about 2,000 square foot each. So we're going to have them on one of the platforms facing the round section of the boardwalk. People are encouraged to come and set up wherever they feel comfortable. There's a lot of different great viewpoints. The music is pumped through the entire experience. Also, we want to encourage people to come early. We have a great Sugarlands barn and bar area that we developed, and also Chimney Tops Provision, which is our food outlet that services the area. A lot of new experiences that leans into that East Tennessee Southern vibe. So we're encouraging people to come early. Doors open at 4. Tickets are $15 to come. Also, if you're there during the day, so if you show up to the zoo at 2 or 3, that admission ticket to the zoo also gets you into the concert series at night. So why not come early, hang out, experience the zoo for a couple hours, bring your chair, and then stay late and catch some music.
So you could sort of do it both ways. If you're planning to go to the zoo that day, your admission will get you into the concert later. But also, if you just buy the $15 concert tickets and you get there at 4, you have a little time to explore the zoo before the concert.
Exactly,
too.
yeah. So the animals will probably be out as soon as that sun starts to get lower. The animals tend to be really active. Doors open at 4 for the experience, but you could just stay over for the day. The opening bands start at 6, and our main bands start at 7 each night. So come and experience the zoo. For those of you who haven't been to the zoo in the evenings, it's a magical place when that sun starts to get low and the temperature cools down and the animals start to reemerge.
We got to speak about some of the animals because you have a couple of cute ones right now.
We do.
We've got to talk about the little lion cub and the little baby gorilla too, right?
Yes. So Cleety is the baby gorilla. She's about 7 months old now. So cute. She's viewable every day. Her mom, I think, likes to show her off.
Yeah.
So her mom keeps her really close to the glass or out in the yard. So she's always viewable to folks. And I'd say the same thing for Bisky. Bisky is our new lion cub. He is 4 months old now. He is in our day room every single day, so he is easily viewed by folks, and we love babies at the zoo. So please come out and experience them. They're something magical. We hope to have more in the future.
And I have to ask because it's been my favorite, but I think some of the most recent babies previous to that were the red panda baby. How are the red pandas doing?
Red pandas are doing great. They are kind of on an annual breeding cycle. We'll have some exciting news coming up.
Ooh, preview.
Hopefully we got
Tease.
a little preview coming up, a little tease for you guys. Hopefully we'll be releasing some exciting information here in the coming weeks about them.
I know you can't really say, but would it possibly be the parents of the previous ones are being great parents again, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. I know you can't really release much information. What else is happening in the zoo? What's coming up?
The zoo is always changing and getting better. Something that I hear every day when I'm walking around the zoo, people who have either been there recently or haven't been there for 10 years, they say the zoo has gotten so much better, and it just keeps getting better every single time that we come. We are going to be working on a new raptor and bald eagle exhibit that should be opening next spring, as well as renovations and improvements to our red wolf habitat. And some of you might remember from the zoo back in the day, we had a restaurant called Tiger Tops. It was a steak restaurant that you could enter when the zoo was closed. A lot of people have forgotten about that. And the building has kind of been closed and defunct for about 10 years. Through some great support from the city, we're going to be renovating that area, and we're going to reactivate that area. It has some really cool infrastructure, floor-to-ceiling windows on 3/4 of the sides of the building. We are going to bring that back to life, and it's going to be another one of those areas that we can activate for events. It's also going to be a respite area. We are going to be planting a lot of native habitats around that building that will attract songbirds, so you can come, sit in some rocking chairs, look out of the windows, relax, and hopefully experience, again, bringing them close to that East Tennessee wildlife is really our goal in that exhibit. So more exciting things to come for sure in the next 6 to 12 months for the zoo.
And just to touch on that once again, part of that you're talking about right now is because of money from the city, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're so gracious from city support. We put in a capital request annually from the city. They understand that great cities have great zoos, and Knoxville is absolutely no different. So they're happy to support our goals and our endeavors, and we know it's a community asset, so we want to continue to improve it every single year.
Well, great. Thanks so much for stopping by to talk all about the zoo and the fun things happening. And, it's a great time to visit, right?
It's a wonderful time to visit. Come out and have a great day at the zoo with your family. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, of course, there are always plenty of things to do at the zoo. Visit Knoxville, as we just heard, has plenty of big plans for the summer, but Blount County is planning to celebrate and honor history. As our nation marks its 250th anniversary, there are plenty of local events celebrating our history. In Blount County, the library will host History Fest to celebrate the significant people and events in Blount County history. It all starts at 1 p.m. with a time capsule ceiling, and historical figures from Blount County will take the stage and talk about life in Blount County as they knew it. You can visit the Blount County Public Library to learn more. Oak Ridge has plenty of events happening this summer, but one of the nicest events and one of the most fragrant events, I would have to say, is happening this weekend. And Kathy Mahauzo is here to talk more about the Lavender Festival.
Hi, thank you for having me on. Thank you.
I just have to already say, like, look what you've brought. And it
Lavender
smells
bundle.
lovely in here. We are celebrating this. So let's talk a little bit let's go back and talk about how the festival began.
Absolutely. So this is the 26th year
Wow.
of the Lavender Festival, and it was started in 1999. And a lot of people don't realize it, but there is an association called the International Herb Association. And this association promotes herbs, throughout the world, really. It is an international group. And each year they select an herb of the year. And that year, 1999, they selected lavender for the herb of the year. And some merchants in Oak Ridge, in Jackson Square, Barbara Farrell was the person that started it all. She had a beautiful shop called the Farrell Shop in Oak Ridge. And she and I got together. I had the lavender plants from my farm, Aaron's Meadow Herb Farm. She had the beautiful lavender products for her shop. We got together, we put it together. I think we had 10 vendors that first year. Now it's grown to, I think, 150 vendors this year.
Wow.
So it's really grown, and it did have such humble beginnings, and it just grew and grew. And I think it's because it's such a beautiful thing to celebrate, lavender. And it connects you to nature, right? It connects you to wellness, health, beauty. Everybody loves lavender. And what's interesting is the lavender is blooming this week.
Oh, well,
So
perfect,
that's why we
then.
have it.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we have it this week.
And I think for, this, as you mentioned, lavender is so wonderful. When you think about all of its uses, there aren't many other herbs or plants in the world that can do everything from smell beautiful. We can eat it, put it in tea, use it in products that we use on our face and skin. I mean, all of these things, it sort of seems like endless uses.
You're absolutely right. It sounds like you've got a good herbal IQ there. You know a lot about it. But it is a beloved herb. It's an ancient herb, so it's been used for thousands of years. I mean, the Egyptians used it, the Greeks, the Romans loved it. And you're absolutely right. It is like a very useful plant. Now, it is the flower that is used. So the flower is used in cooking for its delicious floral flavor. The flower is used in aromatherapy for, like you said, relaxing and helping you sleep. The flower is used in crafting. It can be used on the stems to make lavender wands and wreaths. And although it isn't native to East Tennessee, if you provide it the right conditions in the garden, it will do well and be very prolific here.
Well, let's talk about where the festival is happening and sort of the layout of everything.
Okay, so the festival is held in Jackson Square, Oak Ridge, which is our historic town center. And that's also where the Oak Ridge Farmers Market has been held for over 30 years. And the town square is just beautiful. It's quaint. It's not too spread out of a festival, so it's kind of nice for families. It's free. It's family friendly. It opens up with the Oak Ridge Farmers Market at 8 o'clock in the festival as well. The hours are 8 to 4. And the Oak Ridge Farmers Market is, a huge draw in itself every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. And this year we are offering a hospitality booth to farmers market shoppers so they can leave their packages, buy all those local tomatoes and the beautiful home-baked bread and leave them with our booth while you enjoy the festival until noon. So the festival itself offers so much for families. Of course, 150 vendors, as we mentioned, children's activity. There's a wine tasting, music all day. So just come. They have beautiful places to sit and listen to the music. And then just everything lavender, everything agricultural. It's really a beautiful center of just local creativity. So everything from jewelry to plants to jams and jellies to wine. It's a wonderful collection of people celebrating nature.
And just so we're clear, these 150 or so vendors, not every single one of them is going to have just lavender products.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's right. That's right. It's varied. It's varied. There's pottery. There's garden statuary. There's gourmet food. There's vinegars and oils and So it's a lot of local handmade crafts. And then there is the lavender, because the lavender farms will come in and they will have a truckload of fresh cut lavender like your bundle here. And I know the vendor next to us last year, they had lavender salad dressing, lavender cookies, just so lavender is featured, but there's much more. There really is. And I think it's also, they do the educational programs. So we will have educational programs on the herb of the year this year, which is turmeric.
You know, for people who don't know about this is it an antioxidant? I've heard.
Yes,
and
anti-inflammatory.
So anti-inflammatory.
Of course, another ancient spice that has been used for centuries in cooking, but now they are discovering these fantastic medicinal benefits to turmeric. I know a lot of people take it for joint pain because it does ease inflammation. So, I mean, what's cooler than that? You know, healthy herbs, you know, beautiful lavender. And I think it is a wonderful opportunity for people to get outside, maybe to get away from the screen, you know, our screens, and to just get out and learn some things about herbs and nature.
Well, before we let you go, I want to talk about more herbs and nature and your farm and what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I like that topic. Okay, so Aaron's Meadow Herb Farm, of course, is my business. We're celebrating 31 years in business. We are in the Marlow community, just outside the city of Oak Ridge. We've been a part of the Oak Ridge Farmers Market and the Lavender Festival for many, many years. But our farm, we've actually, I think we're the only vendor that has participated at the Lavender Festival every year for 26 years. Wow. So that's a great accomplishment. I feel great about that. But our farm, of course, is dedicated to the beauty, the wonder, the usefulness, the flavor, the fragrance of herbs. And so we are open almost year-round. We have cooking classes, other herbal education classes at Aaron's Meadow Herb Farm. We have a beautiful herb shop, greenhouses, display gardens. So sometimes we say, just stick your nose out the window of the car, and if you smell herbs, just follow the direction. It's the type of GPS that your nose can take you to the farm. So we invite people to come out and learn about herbs, and we're just in love with everything about these wonderful plants.
And then remind folks once again, before we let you go, the exact details of the Lavender Festival. Where, when, exactly?
Okay, so the festival is June 20th. That's this Saturday. It's going to be held in historic Jackson Square, Oak Ridge. The hours are from 8 to 4. The farmers market will be held from 8 to 12. And there's actually parking, a shuttle that's coming that can shuttle visitors in, that is at Roane State Community College there in Oak Ridge. Everybody just meets at the flagpole at the community college there, and so we have a wonderful shuttle service to bring people in and out of the square. Come early, because it does get hot. You know, it's June. Yeah. I mean, this is summer, and the Lavender Festival kicks off as summer is here, when you know the lavender is blooming. So bring water. They will have free water stations, but bring water, dress cool with your hats and your umbrellas and your, protective clothing. But there's plenty of places to sit in the shade and listen to music. But come early, come prepared, and we'll see you in Jackson Square.
All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by to talk all about it. It's going to be a great weekend, I know.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Well, of course, this weekend is also Father's Day, and if maybe you have a father who loves to run, maybe you like to run yourself, well, here's an event for you. On your marks, get set, go. Runners will race through parts of Knoxville for the Marble City 5K. It's a run to help keep Knoxville beautiful. Literally, it's to benefit the group Keep Knoxville Beautiful. The course is a flat race along Sutherland Avenue. Packet pickup will be only available Sunday morning before the race. You can sign up on Run Sign Up. Just type in Marble City 5K. On Saturday, our next guests are inviting you to a day of celebration and inclusivity. Of course, we're talking about SoKno Pride, and here to talk more about that, we have Baylor Cesate and Bailey Neely. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you. So excited.
All right, so big fun event, 6th year for this event, I believe. Mm-hmm. So let's talk all about it.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's the 6th year. Started out, I think, in 2020 as just a small local drag brunch, and that has just exploded since then into kind of what we see today. Steadily growing all of those years. This year, we're expecting hopefully around 7,500 people, which is a lot of people in a 4-block radius.
Right.
And it's a really fun event. There's vendors from local vendors and artisans and merchants. We have a really great lineup of musicians and drag performers, and just a really great time just to be together, be who you are, present yourself, and be authentic and genuine to yourself. It's a really great time.
And you mentioned it's basically a 4 blocks of Sevier Avenue.
Yeah.
So you got to have the businesses on board with this, and they are, right?
Oh, yeah. I think we've been really lucky with Sevier Avenue, where pretty much every business there is on board with what they're doing, and they love to contribute to the festival and be part of it. They have their doors open to folks. They'll have water. They'll have like AC, which is the best part, I think, of all of it.
Well, hopefully maybe not as much this year. Apparently it's only supposed to be like 80 degrees,
I
so
know.
we're like, fingers crossed it's not the surface of the sun
be
outside. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, we've been really lucky where pretty much all of the businesses on Sevier Avenue support this and love the businesses, welcome everybody that comes to Pride. So we're really lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
And stuff is going to be happening throughout the day. I mean, let's talk about all the various types of entertainment that people can see.
Yeah. I'm personally really excited for the entertainment portion for selfish reasons, I think.
Because she's the one coordinating it. She's done a wonderful job.
Yes. We have strictly local talent for the festival this year, which is really exciting. We have everything from singer-songwriters to full bands, drag kings, drag queens, literally everything you could think of in form of entertainment on a stage, we have it. And they're all from people around here. And I think that makes it really special, especially for Knoxville, to just highlight these performers and entertainers.
And speaking of, some of these performers and entertainers will be inside some of the businesses, so let's mention that.
Yes. Redbud Kitchen, so by our main high wire stage, will be inside. That'll mostly be your singer-songwriters. So if you are looking for the AC while still getting some entertainment, you can go in there. Also, Fly By Night will have drag and more singer-songwriters, but just general musicians, acoustic, will be in that venue. So again, anything you want, you'll find it.
And what else can people do? Vendors are going to be there, right?
Yeah, so there's about I think around 150 vendors that are going to be out and have booths. That also includes some different food vendors as well. Really just different things. Some of them are pottery, some of them are homemade arts and crafts, some of them are candles. I think we have a lot of artists that do like sketches and drawings. I mean, I personally buy multiple things every year. So it's a lot of really fun, eclectic and unique art pieces that you can get, which is really fun and very indicative of the spirit of SoKno Pride, which I think is really fun as well. Because not only is it, again, like we've been saying, specific to Knoxville, but also the greater LGBT/queer community. I think in supporting those merchants and those artisans is really important, and also in this kind of environment, not only with SoKno Pride specifically, that environment, but then also kind of the greater need and needing to be visible and all of that, I think is really helpful and fun too to highlight some of those folks as well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with you all. I mean, talking about the backdrop of, the politics that we're having here in not only our state, but in the country as a whole. You mentioned inclusivity is such an important part of this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that and how you're hoping to both highlight that and show the importance of that at this festival.
Yeah, I think I've been speaking a lot, both like to my friends and to folks in SoKno Pride, about how like I'm from here. I'm from East Tennessee, born and raised. I'm from Claiborne County, and like I didn't grow up with a lot of like folks in the LGBTQ plus community around me until I came to Knoxville and I found SoKno Pride. And I think it really is a true testament of what Pride represents. Of you can be anybody you want to be. If you are in the closet, out of the closet, whatever it is, if you're out to your parents, out to your family, whatever, you can come to Pride and you will be welcomed. I think that's one of my favorite things about Pride is that the vendors support who you are. Those businesses support who you are. The entertainers support that. And it just creates such a welcoming environment where you are so free to be yourself, without anybody questioning that.
That's one of the things I think about a lot too. Is so one of the good things also about this year from a logistics perspective is we're closing the street down, like I think 3 or 4 full blocks of the street, so people can walk in the streets and be protected and safe. But one of the things that I really liked last year is being able to walk down the street, and again, people wearing tutus and wigs and feathers and boas and all this different stuff, and no one's looking twice at you, judging you, or whatever maybe. It's such a freeing and wonderful environment to be in, and a reminder that while sure any other time throughout the year might feel a little bit different as you're walking down the street, but knowing that there's always a community, whether it be SoKno Pride or Knox Pride or whoever it is in Knoxville, is there to support you and is welcoming to you, I think is one of the what keeps me coming back to Pride, and why I've been so excited to be on the board and contribute to that.
Yeah.
I think, anytime you have been to a Pride Festival, I will say I feel like the word joy is, the overriding word that I always see and feel when I go to a Pride Festival. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're hoping to create at this festival. And when people come, what else did they need to know logistically?
Yeah, so like I said, because we're closing the street down, there's not going to really be a great way to get through. There's some other detour routes and all of that for through traffic, but what we're really hoping for folks to do is there are going to be 2 shuttles, one that's going to be picking folks up at the Riverwalk Garage across from Regal's headquarters, and that'll be dropping them off down by Honeybee. And then on the other side, there will be another separate shuttle picking folks up from the Dwight Kessel Garage, kind of on this side of the river, as well as underneath James White Parkway, and then dropping them off at Alliance or Pink Cactus. So really encouraging folks to use that, because parking also in general is severely limited down there. Severely. The joke. Anyway, I missed that joke on my Instagram story, so I needed to put it out there. Anyway, but then also I think the bigger thing is carpool, use Uber, Lyft. But I think the biggest thing that we want people to do is you're coming and celebrating, however that looks like for you. But the biggest thing for us is to be safe, don't drink and drive, use some of these other options that will allow you to get home safely. Also wear sunscreen, hats, drink water. no matter what the weather's going to be, always wear sunscreen. It's a lot outside, which is a great time. But so there's a lot of different ways that people can get to the event. All of that is on our social media at SoKno Pride, as well as on our Facebook, as well as our website, SoKnoPride.org too.
And for people who may not be able to come out, and this festival, as you said, has been growing, but they maybe want to support you all. Is there a way to do that? Yeah,
on our website, and I think it's probably linked out on our social media as well. There's a Zephy account. It's kind of like a Venmo for nonprofits. People can donate that way. We also, depending on if there's different events throughout the year, we can do, like, people can volunteer. There's a bunch of different ways. If anyone has questions about things like that, reach out. We have a really, really solid, great social media team covering all of that, answering questions. We appreciate any help, any support, whether it be in person, financially, whatever that looks like. We are more than happy to have people join us in whatever manner makes sense for them and works for them and protects who they are.
Well, thank you both so much for being here, and have a great, safe, and overall fun festival.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Thank you.
And thank you for being with us on this week's 10 About Town podcast. Don't forget that you can catch 10 About Town every weekday at 4 p.m. Meanwhile, we have more streaming for you after this.